Welcome into the next lesson where we're going to look at adding score, high score, resetting the score. So let's take a look at the code that we need to update. Like all the other lessons, the code will be available in the Git repository, and there's a different entry for each lesson so you can notice the changes. So what we're going to need to start with is under our obstacle class, under our move. In previous lessons, we had commented out these two returns. And so basically, this is the code that resets an object that goes off the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen. And basically, we're going to add, if an object goes off the bottom of the screen, we're going to return true. And if it doesn't, we're going to return false, because what we're going to do is basically we're going to update our code that when it calls the move, it's going to return whether the object passed off the bottom of the screen and whether we're going to score or not. Another thing we need to do is I want to add logic that after your score gets to a certain point, that it adds an obstacle. And so basically, we're going to just add this definition here, add obstacle, and when it's called, it's going to do obs.append, and it's going to create an obstacle. And if you'll remember up here, when we create an obstacle, it does a random choice of which obstacle gets added. And let me go ahead and delete that out of there because we don't need that anymore. Under our vars, we're going to add a few more. We're going to add a score. We're going to default it to 0, a level, default it to 0. Asteroid added scores. We're going to create a collection there, and that's so that the same object doesn't get counted twice. We'll see that in the code in a minute. Then we're going to have a high score and a high level. And let me take out that note right there so it's not there when we upload this code to GitHub. And then we're going to just come down here to our code, and this is where we're going to start making some changes. We're going to update this obstacle move, and instead of just calling it as obstacle move, we're actually going to call it as a conditional. And what that will do is, if it returns true, we're going to add our score. And then we're going to draw regardless if it returns true or false. So we've updated to not only are we going to move, but it's going to tell us whether we need to score. And then I've got this code that says if the score is greater than 0, but the score is less than 6, if the score is a multiple of, or is divisible by 10, then it is going to add a new, oh, this is not what I want. I'm sorry. I don't want that to be score. I want it to be level, because I want it to update at level. So if the level is greater than 0 or the level is less than 6, it's going to check to see if the score is a multiple of 10. And if it is, then it's going to add another obstacle. And then it's going to up the level one more. And then if it's greater than 6, it's going to start checking to see if the score is multiples of 20. And then it's going to add an obstacle. And so what this is this make sure that the difficulty doesn't become ridiculous. So each time you up a level, let's say we start with 3 obstacles. At level 1, we're going to add a 4th obstacle. At level 5, we're going to add, at level 2, we're going to add a 5th obstacle and a 6th obstacle. But once we get above level 6, we want to make sure that the level doesn't increase until we've gone 20. So level 1 would happen at 10, level 2 would happen at 20, level 3 would happen at 30, And then once we get to level 6, which would be at 60, then the next level wouldn't happen until 80, and the next level wouldn't happen until 100. And so it keeps it from becoming infinitely impossible. Um, and so that sets all that. We still have our collision, and then we're going to look at this code for we're going to update this what we're printing on the screen. So basically, we're going to have score text. It's going to be font.render our score. We're going to pass in the score variable. Remember, we're going to use a formatted text here. We're going to pass in true. And then we're going to pass in the color. If the score is greater than the high score, we're going to update the high score to equal the score. So this will go into when we have the functionality for persistence, where we're going to record our high score and our high level, so that when you come back to the game, it will remember previous high scores and high level. We're going to write the high score to the screen, and it's going to be, we're going to high score, passing the variable, it's true, and there's our color. Same thing with a level. We're going to write the level. And then again, just like we did the score, once the level is higher than the high level, we're going to update that variable high level. And then we're going to render the high level text. And we've created those texts. And then basically we're going to screen blit. And we're telling it the coordinates that we want it at. So this is going to be at 10x, 10y. Then we're going to do the high score at 10x 30y. Level text 10x 50y, and high level text 10x 70y. And so basically this is all going to be at the top left of the screen, 10 pixels off the left, and then dropping down 20 pixels each time. And then if the game ends, we're going to say if the score is greater than the high score equals score. And then we're going to display a message to the screen. We're going to do game over. We're going to pass in the font variable we've already got up there, passing in our color, and then we're basically saying negative 100, so it's going to go above the center of the screen by 100 pixels. We're going to display the final score, pass in the variable score, the font, the color, negative 50, so it's going to be 50 pixels above the center of the screen. The final score will be displayed at the center of the screen because we're not passing any adjustment. High score will be 50 pixels below the center of the screen, 100 pixels below the screen, and then we're going to ask the question, would you like to play again? And then, of course, we have the code that says we either reset the game or we play. So let's go look at this reset game code here. Control F. Let's go look at reset game. And right here we have game over, obs, and ships. So we're only updating the state of the game, the location of the ship, and the 3 obstacles. So here's what's going to happen if we play our game right now. The game will play just fine. We'll score, but what's going to happen is if I hit, it tells me game over. My score was 4. My level was 1. Do I want to play again? Yes. But if you'll notice, the score is still 4. The high score is still 4. And the level is 1. So it's not resetting. So what we need to do is in our reset, we need to add score as a global. And we need to add level as a global. And then we're just going to jump in here and we are going to set score back to 0. We're going to set level back to 0. And now when we run it, we go in here. The score is counting. And if you'll notice, there are 4 objects on the screen at any time. But when I hit to level 2, there are now 5 objects on the screen at any time. And at 20, you now see there are 6 objects on the screen at any time. And so that's the logic we added. But if you look here, now I've got my final score 28. Final level is 3. Do I want to play again? Yes. And my score has reset and my level's reset. But what has not reset is my high score and my high level. And what we're going to do the next time we look at this, we'll look at how to make that persistent so that we can save and reload our high score. And just a reminder, the code changes that we made will be in the Git rehub that is pointed out in the description. And again, just kind of a reminder, we updated our move to not only move, but to tell us when an object goes off the bottom of the screen. We updated our reset so we could have our score and level. We added our vars for score, level, high score, etc. And then we updated our logic to update our score, update our levels, and to display the text. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section.